But no, we get right to it. So my question for y'all, and you can be as raw as you want, with the policies that's in effect right now, with the way things are going right now, how are we going to be able to grow the Black economy? Like, is it we play ball or do we have to go another route?
I mean, that's a good question for sure. I think a lot of people have that concern right now.
Yeah.
My personal opinion is that we have to support each other. I know that's kind of a cliche thing, but when you look at business at the highest level, it's done through cooperation. So of course we do have to quote unquote play ball. I mean, we're not in a situation where we can just, create our own situation and not participate in the economy at all. But I think that, you really have to look at collaboration on the highest level and on the smallest level. So on the highest level, we need our billionaires to start working together to create different type of companies. We need the venture capital. I mean, we talked about this before with Black billionaires, but like we have venture capital firms. We need more super PACs. We need more. Like we got to really hone in. And then on the smaller macro level, we got to make sure that we support our businesses. We need the mom and pop grocery stores. We need those type of outlets where we can actually, have some level of economic empowerment, because my whole thing is even talking about the boycott of Target, right? It's like boycotts are good, support is better. So it's like a boycott of Target is not a bad idea, but what would be better is if we had our own store and we would patron that store either in person or online, right? Then all of that money is going away from Target anyway. But the thing about a boycott is that it's not sustainable.
Yep.
Right. It's like it only lasts for what, like a week, a month. If it's a really good boycott, a couple of months at best. But it's like they negotiate with you. They come to some sort of understanding, and then you right back to spending your money with them again. That's why I never really got into the boycott thing too much, because I never really understood it. I understand like power. Boycotting something is just in the moment. Like when you actually got something that you could support forever, like that's something that's powerful, right? So I think that support goes a lot further than boycotts. But I feel like in this day and age, like we talk about that all the time, but if we're not willing to actually buckle down and work with each other and support each other, then it's not going to happen. Ian, what you think about it?
I agree. Even in the bus boycotts, the interesting part is that the issue was equality was wanted, but at the same time, when equality and integration happened and blacks were able to sit on white buses, the black buses that were there and doing well went out of business. So even inside the integration, it was actually the disruption of our economy through integration. Being from the Midwest, you get this. It's hard for us to work together, man. Like you'll see different sides of Chicago, Northwest Indiana have a melting pot of talent, and it would take forever to come together. The solution for sure at scale is working together. That's why I appreciate you being here tonight. Whether your voice, your question, your support. But if we don't support each other, like even with this, like let's take all the news from DeepSeek. No one was talking about this company 2 weeks ago, a week ago. Now it's international news. It's a startup. For those who don't know, it's a paid PR campaign to make them be on the scene. And I think we can do the same thing with ours. But people will always say, well, blacks aren't a monolith, but racism is. So until we come together, no change will come about.
I agree. Last thing for me, I said that I had this conversation with Black Men Smile. I met them at Waymakers, and they were one of the big companies that came in on the Black History Month when they were doing the initiatives. And I was like, the realistic thing is, it's easier for me to go in and say, I'm just going to target Black businesses, even if it is in Target, because you don't have the infrastructure. You don't have anything to replace Walmart. You don't have anything to replace Amazon. Like, what you really gonna do? And when it comes down to, are you really ready for that type of backlash that MLK and them faced? Like, because they was ready, they was prepared for dog. They prepared for all of that.
Yeah.
And if you come on, black people, I love y'all. This is a black owned brand right now. You know, the book, everything is black owned brand on me right now. But I just know until we really prepared and ready, there's a way we have to walk about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And it also goes back to social media. I think social media is a gift and a curse, but it's also kind of made us a lot more divided because now everybody, like when MLK was doing it, everybody wasn't agreeing with MLK, but it wasn't broadcasted 24 hours a day. So everybody, so it's like now, like we say, okay, NNDI is bad. Then you're going to have a whole group of people that's like, no, NNDI is a good thing. And then they're going to be fighting on social media and they in the shade room. And so it's like, all right, we're going to say like, all right, we're going to boycott Target. And then there's going to be a bunch of social media like, no, why are we going to boycott Target? That don't make no sense. Da, 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 da. So it's just really difficult right now because social media has made it hard for any form of unification, right?
For
like
sure.
everybody is their own leader. Everybody got their own points of view. Everybody's got, you know, in order to actually have some level of unification, you need some level of leadership, right?
You have to have it.
We have a problem respecting leadership. We have a problem with that off the rip. And it's just difficult. So it's a gift and a curse because it's giving people a voice. That's important. But it's also just created a bunch of like fighting. Like it's just like nonstop fighting, right? It's like shade room on steroids for everything. Political, economics, food. You can't say nothing without getting 10,000 comments, positive, negative, fighting with each other. So that really makes it hard when you're trying to, you know, unify people for boycott. And then like we can't even boycott things that are like Gucci, right? Where we don't have to wear Gucci. That didn't even work. So Target, where people really use Target, stuff like that, like, you know, it's a tall task. It's a tall order. So I'm always for shifting the mindset of boycott to support, boycott to build. Like,
yeah.
The boycott thing is cool, but that's only works because you know that you really need that company. If you know that you don't need that company, so for instance, let's say I didn't say that they do this, we got a relationship with them. I'm just saying hypothetically, if CNBC or Wall Street Journal, let's say that they did something that was against the black community, right? And then it'd be like black people be like, yo, I'm not watching CNBC anymore. Well, what would be better than that is what we did, right? We built the platform from the beginning. We gave an alternative. We speak in an authentic voice. We highlight black entrepreneurs and black investors. We do events where black patrons come and black entrepreneurs can sell their products. So that's not like, we're not going against. Earn Your Leisure wasn't birthed out of don't support CNBC. You could watch CNBC. Earn Your Leisure was built we don't have anything that really focuses on our issues and our voice in a business manner at the highest level, at the lowest level, for every single person, the person that just graduated from high school to the person that's a Fortune 500 CEO. We need something, right? So that was the idea. That's the thesis behind it. People support it, right? I think that model has worked better for us. As if we would have said, okay, we're not going to watch CNBC until you get a black correspondent on main time television.
Yeah.
Because it's still the same structure, right? It's still, like I said, no disrespect to them, but it's still the same. You fighting it for a small incremental change, but it's still the same power structure, right? The voice is not going to change. They're not going to just bring on 1 million black entrepreneurs. They're not going to just start giving so it's like we're fighting for small nuanced things, like the ability to be on the aisle, the ability, like we fought for the ability to ride the bus, the ability to go to a restaurant. That's a nuanced thing in the grand scheme of things. We didn't boycott, and I no disrespect to him. Okay, I'm just saying, like, but we didn't boycott to make sure we got beef from black farmers, right? The boycott was for us to sit at the table.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we talking about?
And I'll say that too. Stop asking for seats at tables that do not want us to dine there. No pun intended. Everybody was like, how can we integrate into or break into? Build your own shit. Truth be told, and they're saying right now, because they're afraid, we don't want this inclusion. When we get the least amount of capital in, we have to build on our own. And I know it's tough, and I know entrepreneurship is not easy. I was talking to somebody about this on Twitter the other day. I'm like, no Fortune 500 company is just handing out board seats just because they like us. Kendrick told they're not like us. So go build your own table, and stop complaining and make that thing so valuable. But once again, that takes unity. It takes us operating in unison. And truth be told, I don't think most of us want that. I think we want to be included in institutions who don't like us, don't love us, so we don't have to do the work and build on our own.